Glenwood, Arkansas City Council meeting / public meeting, November 6th, 2024.
Alan, you want to open something for the prayer?
Jesus, thank you for your goodness and kindness to us, Lord. You've been way better to us than we ever deserved. We appreciate the fine community you've given us, Lord, to take care of. We love you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, as everybody that's here signed in, we're going to go into the public meeting first. We have to have this meeting. Because of the. Well, first off, we're renewing our operating license at the sewer plant, and the findings they found there, and the findings they found at the river last summer, and everything is all lumped into one. And we just need to read this out loud and go over it. If anybody's got any questions, we'll answer the questions. Who's a good reader? Jimmy, be sure and sign in over there for me, please. Go ahead and do a roll call for me, and that make sure we're going to make.
Roll call. Al Moore.
Yes, sir.
Chris Fuller.
Yes, sir.
Johnny Cox. Yes, sir. Jimmy Clark.
Yes. I'll read part of this. I'll explain kind of, we're going to be in an administrative consent order for the next, these licenses are 5 years, is that right? I think it's 5 years, isn't it?
Yes.
So we'll be under administrative order for the next 5 years. And that gives time to get some of the stuff that we're working on getting done, and some of the stuff. But we're going to read the letter from the front of it, and we're going to read the violations and the comments. The council went with, we've already met with ADEQ at Little Rock, the council did, and all 4 of us were there that day, right?
Yes, sir.
Johnny didn't make it that day. The 3 of us made it that day, and ADEQ sat there and said, you're not in violation on that, but we wrote you up on it. We're not taking out your violation. So we're going to read some of these violations that we are being accused of that are not wrong, that we didn't do any wrong. And they said in the meeting we didn't do anything wrong, but they're not taking them out of the write-up, if that makes any sense. Because once they write something up, it becomes in stone with them. And even if you've done nothing wrong, this will be a matter of public record at Little Rock with ADEQ. Anybody gonna look up on the file? Once this is signed and sent back in, and it's gonna say we're doing all this stuff wrong, whether they did it wrong or whether not. You either take this and pay a $2,500 fine, or you fight them on it and you're not gonna win. Because you could have a $100,000 fine here if they wanted to put it on you. But anyway. All right, Honorable William C. Plowler, Mayor, City of Glenwood, Glenwood Wastewater Treatment Plant, 210 North 2nd Street, Glenwood, Arkansas, 71943. MPDES permit number AR0035645 AFIN 55-0034. Proposed consent administrative order. On August the 2nd, 2024, the Division of Environmental Quality, DEQ, issued a consent order, administrative order to the City of Glenwood, which assigned a civil penalty of $11,550 with $8,550 conditionally suspended and dismissed on August the 12th of 2024. The City of Glenwood requested minor language changes so additional information could be added to the assessment civil penalty and the civil penalty be reduced. Can't talk. Enclosed is a copy of the revised CAO in its manner. If you choose to accept this CAO with a reduced penalty from $11,550 with a $9,050 conditional, suspended, and dismissed. Please sign, date, and return signed copy to, EE Water Enforcement Report of Arkansas Gov. Or addressed below within 20 days of receipt of this letter. A city council resolution that approves the COA and authorizes the mayor to take, mayor and city clerk treasurer to sign on behalf of the COA, on behalf of the city of Glenwood, must also be submitted. Subsequently, the chief administrator of ADEQ will sign the CAO, and you will provide a copy including information of the public notice process and the effective date of the CAO. Failure to contact ADEQ office within an Office of Water Quality Enforcement branch in response to CAO within 20 calendar days of receipt of this letter will constitute rejection of settlement offer, and unilateral enforcement action may proceed through a notice of violation, NOV. Should you choose to discuss this matter further, call us at 501-682-0630, or you may email us to leslieallendaniels@arkansas.gov. So they're gonna we'll pay a $2,500 check when you'll approve it tonight, and we'll get that in the mail to them tomorrow, and get this on the way if y'all approve it tonight. Jimmy, you'll have to read.
No. What did you read?
Start at page 1 there. 14 pages. Well, there's, yeah.
So, consent administrative order. This consent administrative order is issued pursuant to the authority of the Arkansas Water and Air Pollution Control Act, 8-4101, the Federal Water Pollution Control Act, 33 U.S.C. 1311, and rules issued there under by Arkansas Pollution Control and the Ecology Commission. This issue herein has been settled by the agreement of the city of Glenwood and the division of DEQ. And it hereby agrees and stipulate the following findings of fact and the order of agreement be entered. Finding of the fact. Respondent operates a minor municipal wastewater treatment facility located on Baker Road, Glenwood. Respondent discharges treated wastewater to an unnamed tributary of the Caddo River, to the Caddo River, then to Lake Gray, then to Washita River in segment 2F of Washita River Basin. Respondent is regulated pursuant to the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System, pursuant to the Federal Clean Water Act, 833. The NPDES program prohibits the discharge of pollutant except as in compliance with a permit issued under the NPDES program in accordance with 33 U.S.C. DEQ is authorized under the Arkansas Water and Air Pollution Control Act to issue NPDES permit in the state of Arkansas and to initiate and enforce action for any violation of this permit. Arkansas Code Ann 84217 provides it shall be unlawful for any person to violate any provision of this chapter or of any rule or order adapted by AP, C, and EC under this chapter of a permit issued under this chapter by DEQ. Arkansas Code 84103 authorizes DEQ to assess and administrate civil penalties not to exceed $10,000 per violation for any violation or any provisions of the act and any rule or permit issued pursuant to the act. Pursuant to Arkansas Code 84103 C1B, each day of a continuous violation may be deemed a separate violation for purpose of penalty assessment. DEQ issued NPDES permit number AR 0035645 to respondent on July 12, 2019. The permit became effective on August 1st of 19 and expires July 31st of 24. Late permit renewal application, Part 3, Section D, Condition 10 of the permit requires respondent to submit a complete permit renewal application at least 180 days prior to the expiration date of the permit if the activity regulated by the permit is to continue after the expiration date. The respondent intends to operate this facility beyond the expiration date of the current permit, July 31st, 2024. On August 2nd, 2023, and date of November 1st, 2023, DEQ notified respondent that the permit would expire on July 31st of 24, and that in order to continue regular activity, a complete renewal application must be submitted no later than February 2nd of 24. On April 19th, 2024, respondent submitted the permanent application, and on April 22nd of 24, DEQ notified the respondent that the application was incomplete. The complete permit renewal application was not received by February 2nd of 24. Failure to submit the complete permit renewal application by February 2nd, 24 is a violation of Part 3, Section D, Condition 10 of the permit, and therefore is a violation. On July 8th, 24, the permit application was deemed administratively complete. So the complaint and inspection part. On May 10th, 23, DEQ received a notification from respondent that the wastewater equalization basin, EQ basin, was discharging untreated wastewater from the basin of the sidewall of the levee of the EQ basin into a creek that flows into the Cattle River. On May 11th, 23, DEQ received a complaint that there was untreated wastewater impacting the primary contact reaction area of the Cattle River. The complaint indicated that the discharge of untreated wastewater had been occurring for an extended period. On May 18th, 23, DEQ sent a respondent letter requesting immediate actions to address this unpermitted discharge and submissions of a communication plan and corrective action. On May 18th and June 1st, DEQ performed a compliance evaluation inspection over 2 sites. The inspection revealed the following violations. Unpermitted discharge were observed from the following: seep from the basin, levee into an unnamed tributary of the Cattle River, wastewater discharging from the unused lift station at Trestle Park, and wastewater flowing through the gaps in the weir plate to an unknown location. Unpermitted discharge are violations of the code 84-217, and therefore are violations of Arkansas Code 84-217. The following operations and maintenance violations were observed: vegetation and trees growing in the basin, several animal burrows present in the basin. The above listed conditions are violations of Part 3, Section B, Condition 1 of the permit, and therefore the violations of Arkansas Code 84-217. Respondent was bypassing the large clarifier and failed to notify DEQ in violation of Part 3, Section B, Condition 4 of the permit, and therefore in violation of Arkansas. That one, when we had that meeting, they didn't understand we weren't bypassing because all 3 clarifiers are in order. Remember that? In the meeting, they said that was okay.
You still rolled up for it, but
I know, but
they understand that we did nothing wrong.
That was one of them. The method of disinfection was altered, and respondent did not notify DEQ prior to altercation, in violation of Part 3, Section D, Condition 1 of the permit, and therefore in violation of Arkansas Code 84-217. On May 25th, 2023, respondent submitted a response to DEQ, letter dated May 18th, 2023. The response stated the following: Respondent had been draining the basin and pumping it to the wastewater treatment plant. The respondent will continue to update ADEQ, but the unpermitted discharge appears to have ceased. Samples have been collected at the specific location, and the results were sent to ADEQ. Respondent proposed sampling the EQ basin twice per week instead of 3 times per week, and declined to provide 2 consecutive weeks of clean samples. The result of the samples analyzed have been posted to social media, and the results have been delivered to the river basin in the area. The respondent did not feel a CAP was necessary, as the respondent believed the unpermitted discharge had ceased. On May 30th, 2023, DEQ performed a site visit of the areas near the collection system storage pond, and concluded that the pond leaked during use, and a review of any available pond construction documentation was warranted. On July 10th, 23, DEQ notified respondent of an inspection result and requested a written response to be submitted within 30 days. And on July 18th, 2023, DEQ received a response to the violation cited in this report. On June 14th, 2023, respondent provided DEQ with the sample results and notified DEQ that the EQ basin was dry with the exceptions and potential rainfall, and they had no additional sampling was planned. On August 3rd, DEQ notified respondent of the following observations and conclusions from the DEQ site visit on May 30th, 2023. The collection system storage pond is leaking significantly when in operation, and any future use should be avoided unless emergency use is necessary. If the pond is used for emergency use, the respondent shall send DEQ a report detailing the use date, the date of the use, and the depth of the water during the event. The pond shall not be used for any emergency use beyond December 31st, 2023, without written authorization of DEQ. The respondent wastewater treatment plant should be repaired and returned to full operation capacity at the earliest opportunity. The respondent requested the following be included in the order. Respondent performed several tests to determine the pond was leaking during use. Tests included sampling, leaching entering the creek for E. coli, and administered pond dye to the pond. The E. coli sample result did not support the belief that the pond was leaking. As the leaching entered the creek was significantly lower than the sample collected from the pond. Also, no coloration was observed in any of the leaching after the pond dye was administered. 2 dye tests were performed, one being prior to the city coating the levee with bentonite clay, and one after the levee was coated with bentonite clay. The city and their engineer continue to believe the levee was not leaking. Samples collected ultimately point to the E. coli levels being elevated due to the manhole SSO further upstream in the same creek. The problem was unanimously discovered and remediated by the city. October 2nd, 23, the respondent informed DEQ that the slide gate and level control in the racetrack was inoperable and requested approval to bypass the pump flow during maintenance for the gate. On October 12th, DEQ notified the respondent that the bypass is prohibited unless certain requirements are met, and requested additional information from respondent because the October 2023 email did not provide information to satisfy the requirements. On the October 12th of 2023, respondent submitted additional information, and on October 19th, 2023, DEQ informed the respondent that the information contained in October 12th, 2023 email satisfied the requirements to approve the bypass. So the DMR violations, February 23rd, 24, DEQ conducted a review of the certified discharge monitoring reports, DMR, submitted by us in accordance with the permit. The review revealed that the respondent reported the following violations of the permit: effluent discharge limited details in Part 1, Section A of the permit from January 1, 21 through December 31, 23. So you had 11 violations of E. coli, 7 violations of suspended solids, 3 violations of, what is that, Marty?
Just a CBOD.
CBOD, and 1 violation of total residual chlorine. Each of the 22 discharge limitation violations listed in paragraph 30 above contain a separate permit violation for a total of 22 separate violations. The review of the DMRs revealed that the respondent failed to submit complete NCRs for effluent violations reported during the following 3 monitoring periods: 22, April and December, and 23, February. Failure to submit an NCR for each effluent violation is violation of Part 3, Section D of the permit, and therefore is a violation of 8-4-217. The review of the DMR further revealed that the respondent failed to submit DMRs by the due date of the following 11 monitoring periods: 21 in November, 22 of May, and 23 of January, March, April, May, July, August, September, October, December. Failure to submit the DMRs with the monitoring results obtained during the monitoring period no later than the 25th of the month following the complete monitoring period in violation of Part 3, Section 3, Condition 5 of the permit, and therefore is a violation of Arkansas Code 84-217. The respondent is currently seeking funding from the Arkansas Department of Economics, ADEQ, or C, to replace the chlorine disinfectant with the UV disinfection. DEQ conducted a review of the SSO reported by the respondent in accordance with the permit for the period of July 1, 21 through February 23, 24. The review revealed that the respondent reported 10 sanitary sewer overflows and totaling over 26,000 gallons. Respondent is permitted to discharge treated municipal wastewater from its permitted outfall. Respondent is not permitted to discharge untreated wastewater from its collection system. Each SSO contributed an unpermitted discharge. Each unpermitted discharge violates Arkansas Code 84-217 and therefore violates Arkansas Code 84-217. The respondent is currently undergoing a sewer main replacement project to to replace the oldest mains and manholes in the collection system that are believed to be caused by SSOs during precipitation events due to inflow infiltration. On August 9, 24, respondents submitted a request to use the existing EQ basin during high rainfall period for emergency use only. Respondent request states that this will allow the additional flow caused by INF to be pumped to the basin for a short time, then directed to the wastewater plant as soon as the flow returns to normal. Respondent contends the basin on their evaluation, dye test, lab test, visual inspection, that the basin is not leaking. This is the order and agreement. Wherefore, the parties agree as follows. Respondent shall comply with the existing permit until the effective date on the permit renewal. Within 30 calendar days of the effective date on this order, respondent shall submit DEQ for the review and approval, compensation CAP development by a professional engineer and licensed in the state of Arkansas. And the CAP shall include a minimum, the method and best available technology that will be used to correct the violation of the finding of facts in paragraph 30. And prevent future violations and include a reasonable milestone schedule for a date of final compliance no later than December 31st of 26. Upon review and approval from DEQ, respondent shall comply with the terms, milestone schedules, and final complication dates contained in approved CAP. The milestone schedule and final complication dates shall be fully enforceable as terms of this order. On or before the 15th day of each month upon effective dates of this order, each quarter thereafter for a period lasting until the order is closed. Respondent shall submit quarterly progress reports detailing the progress that has been made toward the compliance with the permit, effluent limits set forth in part 1, section A, and within 30 days of the final compliance date in the approved CAP or by December 31st, 26, whichever occurs first. Respondent shall submit a final compliance report that includes a certification of compliance signed and stamped by PE, licensed in the state of Arkansas. Upon the effective date of this order, respondent is conditionally authorized to use the existing basin for emergency use only during high precipitation events that cause flow in the collection system to exceed the design capacity of the collection system or design flow of the facility under respondent completes the sewer replacement project. Authorization is conditioned upon respondent performing the following actions for each of the instances that use the EQ basin. They must provide an email notification to DEQ with the start date and time of the diversion of the flow and the volume of wastewater diverted to the flow. The date and time of all wastewater has been redirected to the wastewater treatment plant and the EQ basin is empty. The conduct inspection a minimum of 2 times per week while the EQ is in use. Inspection shall not be conducted less than 2 days apart and not more than 5 days apart. Respondents shall use an inspection report template that has been approved by the EQ, and they must maintain the records of the amount of water flow or wastewater held in the EQ basin during each emergency use, and provide additional information upon request by DEQ. Within 30 calendar days of completion of the sewer replacement project, respondents shall submit to DEQ a detailed summary of the project. Within 60 calendar days following completion of the sewer replacement project, respondents shall submit a certification from the PE licensed state of Arkansas that EQ basin and the levees are in compliance with 10 state standards, or submit a closure plan developed by PE licensed state of Arkansas for EQ basin. Respondents shall submit all DMRs in accordance with Part 3, Section C, Condition 5 of the permit. Good Lord. Alright, respondents shall submit NCRs in accordance with Part 3, Section D, Condition 7 of the permit, and compromise a full settlement of the violation specified in the finding of fact. Respondent agrees to pay a civil penalty of $11,550, of which $9,050 shall be conditionally suspended by DEQ. The allowance of the conditional suspension is based upon DEQ's primary goal of regulatory compliance and respondents' efforts to take appropriate correction actions and achieve compliance with the permit. If the respondent fully complies with this order, the suspended civil penalty of $9,050 shall be dismissed by DEQ. The suspension and dismissal of the civil penalty is contingent upon respondent complying with the term of this order. If the respondent violates any term of this order, the full balance of $11,550 shall be payable immediately to the DEQ. Payment of the civil penalty in the amount of $2,500 is due within 30 calendar days of the effective date of this order. Payment of the penalty shall be made payable to the Division of EQ, Environmental Quality, and mailed to this. If the event that the respondent fails to pay the civil penalty within the prescribed time, the DEQ shall be entitled to attorney's fees and cost of collection. Failure to meet any requirements or deadline of this October constitutes a violation of this order. If respondent should fail to meet any such requirements or deadlines, respondent consents and agrees to pay on demand to DEQ the penalties according to the following schedule. First through the 14th, $100 per day, the 15th through the 13th, $500 per day, and each day beyond the 13th day, $1,000 per day. These stipulated penalties for delay in performance shall be in addition to any other remedies or sanctions that may be available for DEQ for reason of failure by respondent to comply with the requirement of this order. If any event included but not limited to the act of nature occurs that causes or may cause a delay in achievement of the compliance by respondent with the requirements or deadlines in this order, respondent shall so notify DEQ in writing as soon as possible, reasonable possible, after it is apparent that the delay will result, but in no case after the due dates. The notification shall describe in detail the anticipated length of delay, the precise cause of the delay, and measures being taken and to be taken to minimize the delay, and the time above all which those measures will be implemented. DEQ may grant an extension of any provision of this order if the respondent requests such an extension in writing and the delay, or anticipated delay, has or will be caused by circumstance beyond the control and without the fault of the respondent. The time for performance may be extended for a reasonable period, but in no event longer than the period of delay resulting from such circumstances. Respondent has the burden of proving that any delay is caused by circumstances beyond the control and without the fault of the respondent, as well as the length of the delay attributable to such circumstances. Failure to notify DEQ promptly, as provided in the preceding paragraph of this section, shall be grounds for denial of extension. All requirements by the order and agreements are subject to approval by a DEQ unless otherwise specified herein, in the event of any deficiencies. Respondent shall, within the time frame specified by DEQ, submit any additional information or changes requested or take additional actions specified by DEQ to correct any such deficiencies. Failure to respond adequately to such notified deficiencies within the time frame specified in writing by DEQ constitutes a failure to meet the requirements established in this order. This order is subject to public review and comments in accordance with the Arkansas 84103, APC and EC Rule 8, and shall not be effective until 30 calendar days after public notice is given. DEQ retains the right to reside in this order based upon the comments received within 30 calendar days public comment period. Notwithstanding the public notice requirements, the corrective actions necessary to achieve compliance shall be taken immediately. The publication of this order shall occur on or about the 10th or 25th day of the month following the date of this order is executed. As provided by APC EC Rule 8, this matter is subject to be reopened upon commission initiative or an event of a petition to set aside the order and granted by the commission. Nothing in this order shall be constructed as a waiver by DEQ of its enforcement authorities or alleged violation not specified addressed herein. Also, this order does not externate response from this past, present, or future conduct that is not expressly addressed herein, nor does it relieve respondent of its responsibility for obtaining any necessary permit. This order has been reviewed and approved by the City Council of respondent in a duly convened meeting with a quorum present. See copy of the meeting minutes or resolution attached. The City Council of the respondent has authorized the mayor and the city clerk/treasurer to sign this order on behalf of the respondent. And then it says, the City Council of respondent has authorized the mayor/city clerk/treasurer to expend funds for this activity required by this order, including but not limited to the payment of the civil penalties set forth in this order.
All right. Running back through this real quickly, and then we'll take questions if anybody has any.
Give us some history on how this got started, Billy.
This got started from not running the plant, then for instance, the dates that I'm out of compliance on the DMRs, I'm not getting those in my email till the 23rd. They have to be back to them by the 25th. I'm not in my office all the time. I have sent to sign that to the licensed operator, and he was gone this month on the 23rd, and I got them and got them filed. But there's a lot of times if that comes in at 3 o'clock on the 23rd, that's gone, so you got the 24th to get them filed, you got 1 day. And I missed them, Billy T missed them, your wife missed them. I was worse than anybody, but all 3 mayors that are involved in this time frame missed that filing date.
And I guess what I'm saying is, how did ADEQ even get involved to start with?
Well, 2 ways.
Okay,
You got a permit renewal,
okay,
and then you got the violation of the sewer that went into the river.
which was ADEQ drove by and seen it?
No, it's some citizens, Glenwood called and got them down here, we'll cover some of that vaguely, but anyway, so you got.
That's the origin of it, right there is where it started.
Correct.
And then ADEQ gets involved, and then does the meeting, does the reading, okay, I got you.
Okay. Now, okay, on page 4, the leak from the basin, we're rolled up for it, and there's nothing you can do about arguing about it, we're gonna be rolled up for the basin leaking. We're gonna have to go to 10 state standards to fix it and use pond again, and that's gonna be very expensive to do after we get the sewer line project done. But the leak was a manhole that was up above Highway 70B here, where a manhole had been leaking in the woods and we didn't see it. A guy dammed it up and was watering the garden with it, and on a big rain, here all that stuff was coming down through there. We had sewer going in the river, so as far as us having sewer going in the river, we had sewer going in the river, but it was not from where everybody accused us of it. We're rolled up to where it was accused at and not where the occurrence actually happened. You're not gonna get that to change.
No, they stated it in here.
Huh?
It stated.
They understand that, but they didn't take the violation away.
Yeah.
So, and that's fine, you're not gonna get this report changed unless you get a lawyer and spend a bunch of money, you're not gonna beat them on it. This ADEQ and it's the gospel, so. The Trestle Park lift station that a citizen of Glenwood complained about leaking hasn't been used in 50 years. It can't have sewer in it, it's impossible, we're still rolled up on it, you're not gonna get that taken away. But the citizen said something and the citizen's right, you can't prove it wrong. But that's fine, we're rolled up on it, you're not gonna get out of it. The water going through the weir plate, if you look on in the pictures here, there wasn't any water going through there, but you could hear a drip. So he wrote you up on that, and we fill that, box where it leaves the pond down there is completely full of concrete. It ain't gonna be a drip coming anywhere out of that. But anyway, we fixed that even though we don't feel that was leaking, but that's still, okay? The large clarifier, the sewer plant has 3 clarifiers. Previous administration didn't wanna run one of them, turned it off, it sat there. We were in the process of having it rebuilt. It hadn't run for several years. I don't know when it shut down, I wasn't here, don't care. But anyway, and they admitted in their meeting, we went to Little Rock, we told them there's 3 clarifiers that run parallel with each other. And any one of them can be taken out for maintenance and you're not out of compliance, you hadn't changed the operation of the plant. I didn't realize those run parallel, you're, okay. But we're not taking it out of writing you up for it. Then the next thing, the method of disinfectant, they've been using bleach out there at the sewer plant for 3 permits ago. And, actually, the code enforcement lawyer from.
It's been 15 years.
Right, the code enforcement lady from ADEQ come there and said, we don't care what you use. As long as you use disinfectant, we don't care. So, but we rolled up on that, but we're not in violation, even though they're saying we are, we're not, but they're not gonna take it out of their violation, okay? Racetrack, we wrote up on that, but we didn't do anything till we got permission to do it. Which I don't really understand being wrote up for something. We notified them that we need to take it off. Remember, we had to repair the racetrack, take it out of service, so it was never taken out of service. We put a pump in, pump the level down, put it in a splitter box, going to the clarifiers, but we didn't touch any of that until they gave us permission, but you're still rolled up 2 times on it. We didn't do anything wrong there, because when they gave us permissions, when they took it down and fixed it, okay? On number 30, the lady from ADEQ said, if y'all aren't busting with us, you're lying to us. Said, we have your restrictions. You cannot not have a coli or have some chlorine residual. Chlorine's what kills a coli. And 0.002 parts per million is not in a traceable amount. That's what a permit, 0.003 parts per million is what a permit says we're allowed. That is within margin of error of operating equipment. And she said, if y'all aren't busting on that, you're lying to us. But we're not gonna change the permit because you want you off the chlorine. So in this permit, we've already applied 2 times, and the lady told us, they told us in that meeting up there in Little Rock, they told us, I'm saying something maybe I shouldn't say, because lawyers weren't there, no lawyers were there, they just told us this, but anyway, we have applied for grants for UV. That's $500,000. We've been turned down twice. We're in LMI city, and they basically told us in that meeting, sign this consent form and see if you don't get funded next round of funding. Because we want you off the chlorine. We're not gonna let you do it. You're gonna bust on the chlorine or E. coli. It's impossible to operate the plant without one or the other. So, but, sign this consent order. She said, you'll get the grant, you'll get UV in, you can fix the E. coli violations. The rest of the violations is an operator problem that I think we've got corrected with the new operator. He's doing a real good job on things. He's still getting calls and stuff because he's new, but he's doing a real good job at running our plant right now. That takes care of that. The 10 overflows that you had from January 1 of 2021 to 2023, if y'all were in town here and the pumps weren't pumping right, heavy rain, go by pump station, sewer was overflowing. We were in violation there. We've done wrong. I mean, we're in violation there. The pumps have all been fixed, and you're not seeing that going on anymore. We've got that stopped. We're putting some more automation on those pumps to where we get alarms a lot quicker if something happens at a pump station. When all that's in and working, it's not all in and working, it's in the process of being in and working right now. We're getting it put in. The main pump stations will have a lot more notification coming to us on your cell phone, the operator, so they can make sure that if something breaks down on a pump, we know it before it starts overflowing, we can get out there and take care of the problem. But since we've had our pumps rebuilt this year, I don't know of a single time we've overflowed. This was, under the past administration, it was something that couldn't be avoided because the pumps were not working right. If your pump won't pump any water, if a pump 10 gallons of water, you got 100 gallons of water coming in, it's going somewhere. But those pumps are all fixed, and we're not having that problem anymore. So that is fixed. I've talked to A.L. Franks, that's our engineering firm, and on our order of agreement, he says he will see to it that we stay in compliance. That's his responsibility, not us. He's got all these violations of the reports that's gotta go in. He's gotta do that. He knows that. He's in agreement with these dates. and he said that was fine. On page 10, number 6, the 10 state standards, we'll have to see what that's gonna cost to get that pond. It's probably somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million of going to water rate. So thank goodness our citizens called it in, and we're gonna get to fix the pond. But it's gonna be very expensive to go to, it's probably gonna be a liner like we got at the water plant in that pond back there. It's probably gonna be the only way you're gonna get it to 10 state standards. That is an undetermined number at this time. Okay? Now then, we need minutes for this that we can sign tonight and send them tomorrow, so we're gonna have to have minutes.
We don't need a short read on this.
Well, we just need the minutes, and Brenda, you're gonna have to go do me a resolution for this, for us to accept this, and we need minutes. Y'all gonna have to vote to accept this, and to pay the fine, $2,500, have a check right there, and we're gonna need a resolution. Brenda, can you just hand word the resolution, and then you can go type it up, we can sign it? What does it need, what does a resolution, I don't think you gotta say anything, but the council accepts whatever the resolution number is gonna be. What's our resolution, talk?
Billy, I got a question.
You gotta accept this permit.
We gotta accept the permit first, and then we're gonna have to accept, would that be in the resolution?
You gotta accept the permit number and then the proposed consent administrative order, I would say.
And that'll have to be in the resolution. So resolution, and I'll get her to go type it, be 24-13, right?
Yes.
What's,
And we're gonna have to do minutes, and we're gonna have to let him do, I don't care if you just hand out some minutes right now, and we'll approve them tonight, cause they gotta go in with this thing in our 20 days.
Billy,
Yes, sir.
got a question. Okay, a lot of people don't realize just how much is under the ground. You don't think about it. I didn't realize it until I got up here. But, you said that a citizen, is this the one that was posted on Facebook and then pictures, they taking pictures and all? It's been about a year ago, roughly.
Yep.
Okay, question, what would be a better procedure, other than embarrass our town and everybody in it? Could a person reach out to, like you, or reach out to, who would they reach out to try to correct it, cause stuff's gonna happen.
The mayor or the council, I mean, if we've got an overflow going, it's gotta be reported. I don't have a problem with that.
Right?
But if we're gonna report it to ADEQ, we need to be reporting where the problem is coming from, not where we assume it's coming from. Because ADEQ, it's the gospel, whatever a citizen calls up there and tells them. They believe them and they don't believe the city. And once it's wrote up, it ain't coming off. It's not coming off.
Regardless of what happened,
It's irrelevant at this point.
it's irrelevant at this
One
point.
I'm trying to make
Stuff was
is,
on the ground, it just didn't come from where they said it came from.
That's right. We had a
We did
violation.
have pumps that were dilapidated, basically. They have been fixed. We have spent a lot of money on all this, getting it up to date and fixed.
The
We've
service.
got a new operator because of this. So let's just move forward.
I guess the point I'm
The-
trying to make is, if another problem like this arises in the future, the correct place to report that is ADEQ, either here, ADEQ, not social media. Is that right, or am I
Well,
wrong?
if it's something, if we got an overflow, the overflow needs to be reported before it's happening.
Right.
So we get wrote up on the right thing. I don't have the big thing about it is, we had the leak.
The reason this hurts so bad to me, it don't even affect me in no way or all, but it happened right about the time canoe season kicked off. If I've got it mistaken.
That's right.
Okay, about the time canoe season kicked off, there was, 3 families that bought a business and spent a lot of money, and was totally invested, had young kids trying to send to school and college, and from 3 different families. people's lives is what I'm saying. And so the easiest, cleanest, neatest way to help the city the most would be report it to the mayor. I would just say, report it to the mayor and let the mayor go look at it. If ADEQ needs to be called or whatever, then obviously we wanna fix it. But, anyway, you get my point. I have made my point.
Well, we checked the COI, for instance, when all this was going on, at the bridge, the highway bridge. We were out of compliance there, almost as bad as we were down there. That had nothing to do with the city. Just rainwater. When it rains, you got cows all around here, got horses all around here, their poop, when water comes and goes into the stream of water, what is that? Oh,
Well, they said that in the meeting.
yeah, it's,
I mean, they're
you know,
aware of
it's, if it rains and you got animals, we got chickens and we got cows, we got horses all over this place. When it
Like,
rains,
the best thing to sum it up is like you said in the meeting, we all said in the meeting, with them, we know and they're aware where it came from, but you just can't.
well, the only thing that's sad about this, we were in violation with that manhole going
Correct.
over. There's not an argument about that a bit.
No.
But somebody calling up there and telling me it was that pond running over is gonna cost the city,
Oh, yeah.
could cost the city $1 million, and people just gonna have to be happy with it. Ever how much that liner's gonna cost in that pond, it's gonna have to go in it eventually. We got a reprieve from it till we get the, hopefully the sewer line leaks. What people don't understand about that sewer plant out there, that sewer plant is rated to do 420,000 gallons a day of capacity. Right now, on a heavy rain day, we're pumping 3 million gallons of water. You take that pond offline, you're gonna send that stuff right through the sewer plant. Are you processing any sewer, you're just pushing it from there and putting it right back in the river down there. The pond is the buffer to hold us
So we can start.
till we can get it and not put it in the river on a normal rain day. The situation that happened that day was not normal. And we had an operator that was pumping, doing wrong. We were wrong because he had raw sewer going into that pond, wasn't supposed to be there. It was, you know, we had stuff we were doing wrong.
He was putting it in a sewer pond.
It wasn't supposed
Most
to.
of what,
Yeah, he wasn't
But
supposed to,
anyway,
but-
most of what went on was your operator error, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
but anyway, that operator's not here anymore, that's either here or there. But
It's
anyway,
done, let's go.
so, on administrative order, do I have a motion that we accept?
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just have two. On page 11 of 14, it says failure to meet any requirement of deadline of this order constitute a violation of this order. If you fail to meet the requirements of deadlines, you consent to pay some fines. Are these realistic for us to meet?
These are numbers that our engineer says he will work with them on, they'll adjust those dates, but the engineer has to notify them.
Okay, I'm just
But
wondering,
here's the
like,
thing that
if
gets me
if the
just like-
reality is we're gonna have to pay the 11,550 plus these fines, and
Hope
that's
not.
just 20.
We're gonna try
Okay.
not
Yes.
to,
Okay.
if we don't do what they want, yeah, you're gonna
It
pay.
reverts back to the 11.5 and then the fines, right?
Right.
Okay, I just want, and then there's 3 letters from A.L. Franks Engineering on the back that just says, you know, we request that the new permits allow this and that, and there's 3 different things, which I don't understand, all the technical stuff. But has the city gotten a response from ADEQ to say that these things that we want
The
in
only
new
thing,
permit
the
is
only
okay?
thing that they're recognizing in their response to this, these letters were all sent to them
This is
before this decree was
Okay.
done.
Okay.
So they have these, but all that's recognized is gonna be what's in your, consent order.
Okay, so
Those
this
are all
says-
there.
So this says like, request that the new permit allow for bleach chlorination, blah, blah, blah. Is that still out?
The
Like-
chlorine is, we're fine with in the new permit, because they put bleach, and then we had to give them, if you look in there, you got your, they had to have the, OSHA, what is the standards on your safety data sheet? They've got that up there, if you look at that, it's all up there, that's all.
See, like, if you look on page 8, see 37,
Of the consent order?
yes.
Okay.
See where it says on August 9th, a respondent submitted a request? That's, if you look at his letter, August, that's all his
The three,
requests, yes.
okay.
It states in there that they received them.
Okay, good, thanks for clarifying that.
Oh, you're welcome.
And the thing about us not having the permit in 188 days out of deal, and they admitted to that in the meeting, the ADEQ changed their website. You couldn't get into it. The engineer tried for 4 months. Got emails, I can get those from him, where he emailed to them, hey, I can't get in here and file this paperwork. But because we didn't have it done on time, we're wrote up. Not that the engineer wasn't trying to get them done on time. The ADEQ system wasn't accepting the paperwork for 3 months there. And that 3 months fell in 180 days.
Well, we're an hour into this thing and we're on item 2 out of 15 items
Yep.
agenda. so
I need you just to vote. This, I knew this was gonna be a bad one, but anyway, you'll need to vote, and she's gonna do a resolution 24-13.
We can't do anything till we get that here, right? 'Cause we gotta read it.
Well, all that's gonna state, if y'all wanna sign it, I would think you could, say you're gonna accept resolution 2024-13, accepting the permit for the mayor and the recorder treasurer, to act on, MPD ES permit number AR 0035645 and AFIN 55-0034, giving the mayor and recorder treasurer permission, to act on the city's behalf. And that's basically all that resolution will have to say. If y'all vote for that and sign it, would you bring it back, both part down and sign it? Let Mr. Lenderman give us a little set of minutes, because when we come back, we're gonna have to approve these minutes in this council meeting, so I can send those minutes in with this. If that makes any sense. You got 20 days to get all this done from the 23rd of October. And they don't consider it done if it ain't done in exactly their time. So we can't go and have another meeting. We gotta approve those minutes tonight, then we gotta mail in with this, or you're gonna have another meeting tomorrow night. If that makes any sense, and there's no need, we should be able to do both. So do I have a motion to accept resolution 2024-13?
I'll make that motion.
Have a second.
Yes,
Roll call.
Al Moore,
yes.
Chris Fuller,
Yes.
Jimmy Clark,
Yes.
Johnny Cox. Yes.
And then since we've got to approve the check, do I have a motion from the council? This is in your minutes, it will be in a resolution, for the payment of $2,500 to ADEQ, check number 4919.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
You want me to sign it?
Al Moore.
Roll call.
Yes,
You sign
Chris Fuller,
Yes.
Jimmy Clark,
it? Yes.
Johnny Cox. Yes.
All right, when she brings that back in a minute, we'll have to sign that resolution. We gotta sign, so we gotta sign the agreement.
That's not like you, though, isn't
No, this is on all of it.
There's your name.
It's here. Let me get back here good.
I'll make sure you sign on the line.
The line that's next to Alan Moore.
All right. This is being, you gotta sign this, right? That is the, that's the check.
Billy, if I might, I think that has to be read in the meeting one time for it to be legal.
The resolution?
Yeah.
We'll read it just as quick.
Yeah, well, I just wanted, you
Yeah.
know, that way it's on the record, it's been read, but I think it does have to be read at least one time.
Since this is a public meeting, can I say something short
Sure.
and brief?
Yep.
I see things a little differently than, something seemed off with what you and Councilman Moore was saying earlier. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am?
So you were saying that all this problem started because of public reporting things and DEQ just going along with it. So you're saying that all the experts that came down from DEQ, and they documented well where they found everything, and I have copies of that, they documented where they found everything. And are you still calling us all liars, DEQ and the citizens that were concerned? I mean, the health department wanted y'all to put signage out. So, I'm confused on, the concept there.
Okay,
I didn't
the
know
sewer
there
that was
were
going into, there was sewer going into the river, that's not an argument, okay? There has been an argument. It's not coming from the pond. That's the point of condition. There was seepage that they were saying coming from the pond, and if you look at all that report that is in there, it's a red algae that was coming out of the wall of that pond. It wasn't E. coli.
They did find E. coli though.
Not at the
And
Not
moment.
at the, not there, they did
Well,
not.
different locations.
Yes,
And
ma'am, we're not
therefore-
arguing that. The
So-
coli
so you're
level was
saying-
higher behind the depot than at the river. So that's telling you, your leak is coming upstream. That's why we kept digging, we worked today going from First Street, and we done work today from First to Second, today from Second to Third. And then somebody finally called us and said, hey, you got a manhole running over up here, and right up there was, we hadn't got that far yet. But that's where the problem, that had been stopped, manhole had been stopped up and running for I don't know how long.
Oh, we
And were we in
reported several
violation?
to you, we've reported several to you over by our house, and y'all have taken care of it. But I'm asking you this, are you still saying that the citizens that were questioning it and DEQ were lying about what they said at their reports? You said that earlier, you said DEQ had no grounds to stand on and the citizens caused all the problems. So are you
The
standing on that?
pond is not the problem. Was not the problem. I'm not saying that there wasn't E. coli running right down by the pond
Brenda, I
on the
was just
outside.
asking him for,
He's talking.
So you're trying to say one thing and I'm telling you
No.
something else, and you're trying to make it, my comment to you be something different.
No, I
It
was-
is not. There was a coli
We were
going
all
into the
called
river.
liars about it.
No, we're not.
I'm still upset over being called a liar, even
You're
on Facebook. We were called a liar and no one has apologized because it wasn't a lie.
It was not coming from the sewer pond. Period.
Why did you put all the bentonite in there?
We were trying to make sure there wasn't anything
There
coming
was-
because
there
we
was
were
holes
we were
in the
trying to
creek,
react
there
to
was holes in the
we didn't know
dam.
where the leak was coming from either. But it was not, when it got to the bottom of it, it was not coming from the sewer pond. We're still written up from ADEQ, it's coming from sewer pond. So, okay, you got your letter, it says it comes from sewer pond, it's coming from sewer pond. Okay?
It was coming up behind North Clay Street over there is where it was coming from. That's where it was coming from. What was coming out of the pond was red algae. They had no E. coli over by the pond. They tested it.
Their sample showed that
several
also.
times.
And the trestle park, that old hole where y'all made
That
the
had, that
parking.
hadn't, that's disconnected, hadn't even been hooked up. That was 50 years worth of just,
So what they found was.
That's-
They didn't sample anything there because some citizen told them that was raw sewer run up there and it was raining that day, there was water everywhere out there, water was running
Weren't
everywhere.
you there when the inspectors were there sampling things? I thought you were. That's okay, I just wanted you to, so you're
There's
still
water,
saying
there
we're
was water
lying.
going there, I'm not arguing water's not running there. There's not any sewer that could go into that, there's nothing hooked up to it. Hasn't been that was a
But it
lift
was an
station
open
that pumped
hole.
into that pond
Yeah.
40 years ago. It's been took out and not in service, and that, somebody tell me that may be correct, because you left the concrete basin there, they're saying it's sewer. There was some water around it, there's no argument, not arguing there wasn't water around it. Nothing was even sampled there to know what it was. Wasn't enough water there to sample when the ADQ was there.
I'm sure what they said. Well, I'm not
They're,
gonna.
they're writing you up because they're saying it was sewer coming out because there was water in there, but there's no sample pool there. I was there.
Yeah, well, they put in their report that they sampled, things that would go along with, that it had been.
They did sample, and they did find a coli. I'm not arguing you with that.
Okay, I thought you just did.
There,
Yeah.
nobody
That's
sampled at
okay.
that
I'm not,
old
I don't want, I just
pond.
wanted to know that you're still saying that ADEQ and the citizens were lying. So that's good.
No,
That's
you're
okay.
putting words in my mouth that are not there, but that's the way y'all do it on Facebook. I did
No,
not
actually, y'all put
say,
it on Facebook, wasn't
Who's y'all?
nobody
The
said there was
former,
not a
council
co-op.
people, the Brady's did.
Nobody has ever said there wasn't a co-op
Brenda,
going in the
look,
river.
I didn't say it, I'm sorry that it
Well, I
got
know
said.
you didn't, and I respect you,
I'm
Chris.
sorry that it got said.
And I
I'm
respect you for
I know, and I'm
apologizing.
sorry
Thank
that
you.
they're not here to apologize to me.
I
Well,
was
thank you.
down, I was down there watching them.
I
cook
accept your
sandwiches.
apology, and I appreciate it, and I
Yes.
feel better, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, when Brenda gets back, we'll, I don't know how we're gonna do the minutes
I'm done.
to do that in the public meeting so we can
You
get that
done? I'm done.
finished. But go ahead and read the resolution.
That's interesting.
Basically, the two.
Yeah.
It's not two pieces. We'll
It's
come
already
back.
included in there.
Okay,
It's approved anyway.
okay, it's in there, okay. And we'll come back and read it and have it here, but we're gonna try to move on. Okay. Next thing on the list is, resolution 2024-10. Who wants to read that?
I can do it. Give me that lost one right there. Resolution number 2024-10, a resolution for the millage levy of all personal and real property in the city of Glenwood, Arkansas. Whereas a noted Code 26-73-202 requires each city/town to issue a written certificate of the millage levy for both real and personal property within its jurisdictional limits. Be it resolved by the City Council of Glenwood, Arkansas, that a millage levy rate of 5 mills is to be levied for both real and personal property within the boundaries of the city of Glenwood in Montgomery County, Arkansas, for the year 2024 to be collected in the year 2025.
Do I have a motion to accept?
Just a minute, Mr. Mayor, why would we?
We have to do this every year, it's the property tax.
Property tax.
This is, you just have to do a resolution every year and
I
give it to
know
them.
that, but is it the same numbers it was
Yeah.
last year?
Yeah, nothing's changing, it's just, you have to do it every year.
Okay, I knew that, I've done them before, I just making sure of that.
I'll make that motion for resolution 2024-10.
You have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Alan Moore.
Yes.
Chris Fuller.
Yes.
Jimmy Clark.
Yes.
Johnny Cox.
Yes.
Want your copy signed by them? Others actually, there's more of them.
Resolution number 2024-11, a resolution for the millage levy of all personal and real property in the city of Glenwood, Arkansas. Whereas noted, Code 26-73-202 requires each city/town to issue a written certificate of the millage levy for both real and personal property within its jurisdictional limits. Be it resolved by the City Council of Glenwood, Arkansas, that a millage levy rate of 5 mills is to be levied for both real and personal property within the boundaries of the city of Glenwood and Pike County, Arkansas, per area Glenwood 43G for the year of 2024 to be collected in the year 2025. I want to make a motion to accept that, please.
You have a second?
Yes.
Chris Fuller.
Yes.
Alan Moore.
Yes.
Johnny Cox. Jimmy Clark.
Yes. There you go.
There you are.
Yeah, yeah, no, what to say it.
Resolution 2024-12.
Resolution number 2024-12, a resolution for the millage levy of all personal and real property in the city of Glenwood, Arkansas. Whereas noted Code 26-73-202 requires each city/town to issue a written certificate of the millage levy for both real and personal property within its jurisdictional limits. Be it resolved by the City Council of Glenwood, Arkansas, that a millage levy rate of 5 mills is to be levied for both real and personal property within its boundaries to the city of Glenwood and Pike County, Arkansas, per area Glenwood 32G for the year 2024 to be collected in the year 2025.
I have a motion.
I'll make it.
I'll second.
Johnny Cox. Yes. Jimmy Clark.
Yes.
Chris Fuller.
Yes.
Alan Moore.
Yes. just for clarification to that earlier thing, we had to go to the restroom. I never heard, I was asking a simple question of what the procedure for us to go through was to get it resolved, because I know there's gonna be similar situations happening in the future. And, I never heard the word liar used, I don't even know who was involved in it.
I'm talking about now, she's talking about Facebook way last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, I don't know what she's talking about on that.
This,
Was it about this
That's my
instance
copy,
here?
President.
Was it about the instances in front of us?
no, that's a village deal, you're talking
No,
about.
no, no,
Yes.
I'm talking about this.
The rest of them are all.
Still welcome to it.
I was just asking how, basically I was asking on the origin, how did this get started, is what I was trying to figure out. And if there was a better way to do it rather than the way it was done. So we wouldn't have to spend $2,500, that's my point. Cause when they come in, you know, it's coming in my pocket, I guess a little bit, but, you know, it's ultimately the city's money.
It's ultimately gonna be a rate increase that everybody's gonna have to call out to be happy with, because they called and told them something wasn't there.
Do what? I've signed everything sitting in front of me, I don't want to tell you.
Right here.
You just said DEQ
I've
funds
only
for
got
something
11. I need,
that wasn't even there.
So this is
12.
What Billy just said,
Alan's
Alan,
got them all out there, I think.
is that DEQ didn't have one.
He's got a copy, I got a copy.
Find them on something that says it's there.
Here's 10.
Oh, sorry.
That's 10, 11, 12, that's giving me all one.
The citizen has the right to report. Yes, which they do.
Whatever media it is, social media.
Here's 12.
Yes.
Ideally.
While y'all are doing the property thing, does the city still have land up at the industrial park?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
How much?
I'd have to look, they got 2 parcels over
You
there.
do know that the place up there sold,
Did it sell?
Louis bought it.
Travis?
He's got both those buildings over there.
He got both them buildings up there now. And he asked me about that because I said, well, I think there's still some land up there.
I got 10, 11, and 12.
So Alan, did you want me to respond to answer why it's still important to me?
No.
I mean, I don't mind answering your
No,
question.
I was just trying to clarify that all I was asking originally was only like a 10-second, 20-second question was, okay, it was brought to someone's attention, what was the avenue that it was brought? And was it brought to the right place's attention? Ultimately, it reached the right place's attention, but is there a way that we could do it in the future where it wouldn't cost our city money? Because just by life in general, things are going to happen. And that's all I was saying, was that it was, because I remember this particularly pretty well, because I remembered that when our numbers were coming in, they were coming in good along the river and the cell barn and all that, but when we got on the other side of 70, which flipped me plumb out, that was where our numbers were off, is that right?
Well, see, actually, the city reported to ADEQ first on the 8th, and then it was the next day or so that the citizens saw the sewage, and they reported it then, not me, another
I
citizen.
got you.
And then, actually, there was an ADEQ employee that was also floating and witnessed all of that, you may not know that. But, so everybody got involved because the river is life. That's our drinking water, that brings revenue. Our cousin bought that canoe company. We want them to succeed, but the river is our life and it is important to all the citizens.
We fully
Water
agree
and
with
sewer
you.
department's more than just a monopoly game and a business. It is our livelihood, our life,
Oh, ain't
and
no
it's
question
important.
about that, yeah,
That's why.
yeah. I ain't never made a nickel off the sewer, I'll tell you that. But
All right,
this got me.
next on the list is, our approval of October 14th, 2024 meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion that we accept the October 14th, 2024 meeting minutes as
I'll do
presented.
it.
Have a second?
Yep,
Roll call?
Alan,
yep.
Chris,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Johnny.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Court Attorney, will you run through the financials real quick, please?
Gonna be fairly quick. First page balance sheet of the general fund, see, we've got total assets of just short of $630,000 cash.
Minus 2,500.
Yeah, that'll come out of what's. Look at the P and L previous year comparison, which is pages, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4. Compared to last year at the same time, we're 66,000 net income, 45,000 from last year, thank you. Income, we're $150,000 over where we were last year. A lot of that is, the grant from Arkansas for $99,000.
What page you on this?
One.
You know, I've moved on.
We moved on.
3, 4, yeah. P and L previous year comparison, January through September.
Okay.
The police has got about $17,000 more in grant money. Property taxes are a little bit higher, and the way the sales tax are allocated this year as opposed to last year, which is the first 4 items there.
Okay.
As far as expenses go in the general fund, the lofty pension contribution, 30 grand, which wasn't there last year, was in a different part of the year. It happens every year.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of when. Police grants were 35,000 versus 4. Salaries for police are 125 versus 93. I mean, that's just a few of the items. And then the important one is the compared to budget. My opinion, the important one. We're, as far as income goes, we're at 89% of budget. They're not numbered, so I couldn't tell you.
And I'm saying budget, too.
It's, profit and loss budget versus actual is the,
And we're in November, so we're running pretty
Should be
good.
like-
well, we're in September. These are
These
through
are September numbers.
Yeah.
So 75%. If you're on plan, you're at 75%, so we're ahead of plan as far as income goes, and right on plan as far as income goes, because it's ordinary income 65,000, we're 76.8, so we're right there.
Yeah.
Total expenses are way above plan, which obviously offsets the increase in income, which puts you pretty well right on plan there.
Yeah.
Now, we're gonna skip on back, I don't know what page they are, because they're not page numbered in total, but, the next one is the balance sheet of the street fund. $1,448,000 in assets, which is basically $1 million CD, $400,000, checking accounts. Move on to the P and L comparison, one year to the next. Last year had big losses this time versus this year we actually have positive of $80,000. The sidewalk project expense and drainage and culverts and street resurfacing are the 3 major differences from this time last year. And on the expenses, and on income, essentially the same thing, the grants for the sidewalks and all that. Where it's 600,000 versus 300,000 this year, which is the $300,000 difference in income. Compared to budget, which is the next page, we're way over as far as net income goes, ahead of the game on income, and a little bit ahead on expenses, about the same percentage, so. I would say unless something happens between now and the end of the year, we'll probably stay probably a little ahead of plan.
Next year, we're gonna have to look, you got that sidewalk project money, that's all gonna be, we'll work on that in the budget. That sidewalk project we're getting ready to do is gonna have to be, the income and the expense of that's gonna have to be put in there.
Jason, we did receive the other cops grant
income over there in general fund at 73,000. Huh?
I think it's 71.3.
71.3, we had not got we paid our police in the budget, we hadn't got the cops grant money at $71,000.
71,860.96.
And that will be, that's it, yes. That's in there, so you'll have that, that'll help us get our income back, general fund back up what you want.
Next, skip over several pages to the sanitation fund balance sheet, right at $950,000, which is CDs and money market account. Net income, P&L for previous year comparison.
Just tell me about
It
it.
doesn't have it.
They're all, it's not a cumulative page. I can tell you it's page 2, but that's, you're not gonna go to actual page 2. It's halfway in. Sanitation income's a little bit ahead of where it was last year, but expenses are a little bit less. Looks like we bought some fixed assets last year, we didn't this year. Be the main difference there compared to budget. We're at 67% in income, 65% in net income, so we're a little behind on each, so it should probably work out to where we would stay actually under budget. Then the big one, water and sewer balance sheet, which is a couple pages long, was total assets of $18 million, a little over $18 million. 4 million of that is in cash in one form or another, CDs, checking accounts, money market accounts. And $13 million in fixed assets. P&L previous year comparison. We've got a little more income this year. Net income is quite a bit lower, mainly because of maintenance. In the sewer department, $664,000 versus $240,000, which is a lot of the stuff we've been talking about here. Some stuff.
Almost $1 million in getting the sewer that we spent fixing the sewer back up. It's almost all been sewer.
Compared to actual income, or compared to budget, it's pretty 75% on the nose. So right on track there. However, expense, we're over budget by approximately 25%. 2.1 million, a little over 2.1 million versus 2.1 million for the whole year. So whatever we spend the next 3 months will be over whatever the budget.
And you still got the money coming
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, still spending money. Those are the financial statements. If you have any questions.
We will have to have one more meeting before the end of the month for me to give you all the proposed budget. Jason and I have not had time to sit there and work on it all yet. Hopefully he's getting filled in good enough that he can sit down and help me get that. Y'all do not have to accept it, I just have to give it to you before the end of November. So I have to have one more meeting, and maybe 3 minutes just to give you the budget.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion.
That's presented.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call.
Jimmy?
Yes.
Johnny?
Yes.
Alan?
I'm in favor of that.
Chris?
Yes.
Sir.
You're welcome.
All right, next on the agenda, the city is required every 3 years to send out the letter that's got some controversy on, Facebook. The letter simply says, Glenwood water and sewer customers, your service line installed before 1989, it may contain lead. For more information, and it gives you the Arkansas address to go to. The city of Glenwood, since, let me get back here.
August 23rd, 2000.
August 23rd of 2000, have been testing our water for compliance. What that is,
service line, would you please clarify for the public, is it from the meter to the house or from the meter from the water plant to the meter?
It could be anywhere. The city itself could have, and years ago, we had a lot of lead lines. All the goosenecks where you come off the main lines into the water meters were what's called lead
The
gooseneck.
service line is from the meter to the house.
From meter to the house. And then in your house, if you're plumbing a copper pipe, before '89, they used what's called lead-based solder. They have to use silver solder now on copper, so it doesn't have any lead to it.
Someone called me earlier this morning asking me that question.
Okay.
Thus, yes.
So what we do with the city, there's a copy right there of the deal from the state of Arkansas. What we've been doing since the year 2000, and I'll give, if anybody wants to look at these reports, you're welcome to look at them. I gave all the council a copy of this. We do 20 different houses a year and take a water sample inside the house. We'll call you up and say, Jimmy, will you take a water sample of the water in your house and bring it back to Howard's, our water operator, and he sends those off. So those 20 samples take all the city's water mains into consideration in that customer's house, those 20 customer houses. And for the last 20 years, that's been rotating through. The legal limit for copper, for lead is .015, and then the respectively is 1.3. That's what the state has said is a safe level. In Glenwood in 2020, we were at .007. The legal limit is .015. That's 2 thousandths on further over in the decimal place. On the MGL is 1.3 MGL respectively, and we're at .041. You don't wanna look at these reports. And that letter is to say, if somebody thinks their house might have lead and they wanna be tested in the next testing cycle, come in and put your name on the list and hire to get you the bottle, and on our next testing sample, the city system's fine. We don't have any problem. It's possible that a customer, and it is, we think in the city system itself, we have got rid of everything with lead in it. We don't know of anywhere. And if you look at the 2024 report, the same numbers, the 0.15 is the legal limit, and the 1.3 is the legal limit. We were at .0019. So we have, the lead in, we were never out of compliance, but we are dropping, those numbers are, that's a tremendous drop. It's 2 more decimal points over. And then the 1.3 limit, we're at .125. And we were at, so we're up a little there for some reason, but we're still well within.
Just depends on the houses you tested at.
Yeah, what that's telling you is the house, in the 20 houses, somebody's still got copper pipes with lead solder in it. But the water's not at an unsafe level. But you can, if you look, I gave you every year we've tested here, we're fine in our city system. Some houses may have, and I think Howard actually gets a reading on the house that can tell you where you are.
What you do is you take houses built in a certain time frame. And then, in other words, if they've got copper pipes or whatever in their house, that's gonna be one of the houses you're gonna test. You got 20 houses to circulate between your whole system. So you pick those houses, whatever 20 you end up picking. And then they have to take a sample, it has to be a stale sample. With that being a stale sample, that means that water has not ran in your house for so many hours. And then say that next morning they wake up, they have a little jug, they give you a full sample, you fill it to the line, you seal it back up, your operator comes by and picks it up, and you move on and it gets tested. It's not necessarily for the system itself, it's for the houses. That's what the lead and copper rules for. But anyway, we've been doing this for years and years and years.
And the city has no problem, but you're checking this sampling that you're doing, this letter, it's required by law, we have to send it. is to get the houses checked, and Howard uses a different group of houses,
Yes, sir.
so we can check. Yes,
When we moved in my mother's house in 2010, we opened the faucet and it looked like yellow slime coming out of it. There was no water for at least 3 minutes.
Rick, we've talked about this, I'm gonna shut you off right now. We've talked about this at 20 different council meetings. The city has replaced the 2-inch galvanized pipe that was there with
No,
a 6-inch water
it
main.
was nothing to do with the pipe, honest to goodness. We were at the end of the line and you need to
You were at
find
the end of
those
a 2-inch
people.
line, you're on a 6-inch loop now. Your problem that you keep griping about is a 20-year-old problem that has long since been corrected.
My mother was drinking that water because she was at immaculate generation.
Rick, I'm sorry about that. The city has corrected the problem. We can't go back 20 years and hope we correct something. We've corrected it. And we've had a lot of, the city's done millions of dollars worth of work to bring the water and sewer system in compliance. This year, we spent $1 million on stuff. I mean, you can, but your problem was corrected 20 years ago on your mother's house that you're living in.
No, my problem was corrected in 2010 when I hooked onto the new line in front of the house that
Okay.
went up Mountain View.
Okay. It's been corrected. You're not drinking that water anymore that was in your
No,
mother's
but
house.
it was there.
I'm not
And when we
arguing
asked
that.
about it, all we got told was it's your plumbing, and no, it was not the plumbing.
It's, the problem is fixed at your house, been fixed years ago.
That's because we fixed it.
The lines inside your house, you should have fixed, yes. The city's water line outside, the city fixed. Yes, that's correct. The household people need to fix their water line problem inside their house. It's not the city's responsibility, it's yours. Or mine, if it's my house.
The city's responsibility is to deliver a system to the house.
We deliver it to the water meter. At the main, yes, sir. From that point on, it's yours. And we fixed the problem.
And there were 6 more houses on the system.
All of that's been fixed, Rick, all of it. You're talking about stuff that's been fixed years ago.
Well, I just think that people that's on the end of the line need to have their water checked too. Make sure that sediment is not getting in the drinking water.
That line you're on now is a loop.
Are
It doesn't-
you still talking about this, the lead cop? Because that has nothing to do with what you're talking about. Is that what you're referring to? That's what I'm asking. Okay, all
This is,
right. I got you.
yeah.
Okay,
Last thing you said about me was I was trading my vote, so. You and Billy work out what's in.
Do we want to go ahead and do the resolution next?
you got the resolution. Yeah.
City of Glenwood, Resolution 24-13, a resolution providing for and adopting the acceptance of Division of Environment's Quality NPDES permit number AR 00-35645 AFIN 55-0034 proposed consent administrative order. Whereas City of Glenwood City Council agrees to accept the proposed NPDES permit number AR 00-35645 AFIN 55-00034 with these stipulations that the Arkansas Division of Environmental Quality, or DEQ, requires the city to complete. Whereas City of Glenwood City Council agrees to accept proposed consent administrative order, or CAO, through the Division of Environment Quality. Whereas City of Glenwood City Council agrees to accept and comply to all stipulations per the letter from Arkansas Division of Environmental Quality. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Glenwood, the City Council of Glenwood, Arkansas, that Resolution 24-13 for the preservation of the public peace, health, and safety shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage and approval.
Do I need to ask for a short reading or something like that here?
No, he just read it, that's all you got to do, resolution. Just accept it. I need a motion to accept.
I'll make it.
You've already got this.
We've already voted on
Yeah.
it.
But it's going on. Roll call, roll back, roll call, that way it's done for sure official.
Alan? Yes. Chris?
Yes.
Okay. Next thing on the list, the Glenwood Fun Park grant, and then a program called Tip Taps. There's been, in y'all's packet there, y'all have a bunch of emails that went to a bunch of lawyers. We had a person get involved that thought that we could be doing something wrong, and she got a bunch of lawyers involved. And I took it to our attorney and the procurement office at the state of Arkansas. The grant writer's already approved it. He's already approved it. We've already got the money in the bank. Says that, under the TAPS program, there are approved vendors in the state of Arkansas that do not have to, they've already took their pricing to the state and it's already accepted, and it doesn't have to be bid. The people that's doing been on our park project is one of those vendors. So, and the fund grant people are fine with it. The legislative audit committee is fine with it, and the municipal league raised a question to the person that asked the question, saying that labor can't be involved in a contract, and all the playground equipment is bid installed. And they're approved in the Tip Taps program with the state, and all the other cities are using it and all that. State's already gave you money, they said they're fine with it. The procurement office is fine with it with the state. If you'll read all the emails, our lawyer says accept it and go on, don't try to bid the job. And y'all have already approved the $120,000 about 3 times.
Let's do whatever our lawyer said do. Let's
Our
do it.
lawyer says to sign the agreement and move on.
Need a
And get
motion?
them, I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Have a second. I've gave you all the emails that go to all the, that went to everybody in y'all's packet. The hard thing that's to do on a playground equipment, there's no 2 vendors that make the same exact piece of playground equipment. You're not gonna ever get a like bid. So you're gonna have to take somebody you're happy with and move on in a bid, because they're not gonna be like bids. It's not like putting a piece of 8-inch water main in the ground, or put 6-inch water main in the ground. Nobody makes a 2 like piece of equipment. I mean, I guess everybody makes swing, which isn't good, but the equipment is not the same. I have a
I have a
motion.
motion on the floor. If
I have a
it's not
second.
I guess we'll die.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to accept the playground bid of the $120,783.77. And the grant money for the $99,400 is in the bank, and the $1,000 that the Optimus Club is in the bank. And the city had agreed to pay the difference already. I mean, this is, we're rehashing old stuff that we haven't got the job bid yet, and the engineer won't. If we approve to sign this, Davis Playground Equipment's gonna own the equipment, the project's gonna get done. So I have a motion and a second, roll call.
Adam, Chris,
Yes.
Johnny.
Yes.
Jimmy.
Yes. It says right here, you have permission to move forward with all this.
Yep.
We thought this job would have been let go today, it was 2 months ago, till these emails started going around.
Yep.
Next on the list, Jason's got the bids back on the CDs, I'm gonna let him talk to y'all about that.
Yeah, I requested bids for what we discussed in the last meeting, from the 4 banks here in town, Diamond, Southern, First State, and Farmers Bank and Trust. Got those bids back, and Diamond was the leader in the 6-month CDs, 12-month CDs, and the money market account. 12-month CD was actually close between them and, First State, but it's like one basis point. So, and that was on EPY. So anyway, what we'll be doing is, 200 from the revenue account, water sewer revenue account, we'll be moving 250,000 each into a 6-month, 12-month CD and a money market account at 4.51, 4.23, and 3.51 respectively.
What was the last number, sorry?
3.51 on the money market account, which is annually adjustable. So essentially,
These are on, is this a 6-month or 12-month, or they vary?
All of them.
the
One-
6-month is at 4.51,
Okay.
the 12 months at 4.23, and the money market is at 3.51 for
Which
12
account,
months. Locked
which
for 12
account are
months.
you moving it out of?
The revenue account,
Water
it's got about $1 million in it.
So you have to make your check.
It's $250,000.
Need,
200 each.
And then all three of them are gonna be
250
that.
of each.
So you're moving a total of $750,000.
Okay, I just need to know accounts.
Yeah.
any other questions on that one?
So 250 in each, right?
In each
Okay.
one of those, so a total of 750,000, which will leave about 250 in that checking account, which is earning right at 1, I believe. The next one is the water meter deposit account, which has got $120-something thousand in it. I believe we're gonna move 100,000 out of it into a 12-month CD at 423. And the last one that we discussed was the depreciation account, which has about right at $550,000 in it. We're gonna move $500,000 out of it to a 12-month CD at 423.
What was the, sorry to go back, 100,000, what month was that?
12.
12, thank you.
Moving both of those. The only thing we did is 6-month on, we split that revenue account up,
Yes.
just in case we needed access to more money for repairs,
Okay.
quickly. That's when we put some in a money market account too, so we've got access quickly. And then the one that was approved at the meeting before that, which is a $400,000 CD from the sanitation account, it's going to Diamond at 436, 12 months. So obviously, the rates are going down because we've gone from 436 to 4.25 in 1 month of bid request, so. Anyway, I got actually, all those are in process as we speak.
How quickly are you gonna need some checks?
Couple days, not real quickly.
Okay, that's good.
Do I have a motion to accept?
We only gotta do the top one, right? Because the other one's been approved, right?
They've always
Just-
approved.
They've already all.
They've already been approved, just bring it back to you, make sure
Okay.
somebody says
I'll make
not
that
been
motion
illegal.
to move as presented.
Have a second?
Oh, we already did that.
We have.
We did, I thought, but
It's already
The
been-
interest rates changed.
the interest rate change.
Oh, I got you.
Do I have a motion and a second, roll call?
Alan,
Yes, sir.
Chris,
Yes, sir.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Johnny.
Yes.
Okay. Next thing on the list, Greg's not in here, but on the police grant, where we had a discussion last month, about the equipment and, not working. The company you bought the equipment from, and the gentleman installing the equipment did not hook all the equipment up. The company bought all the equipment from for the cameras and all that system, there was some kind of a cable that goes from the recorder to, I don't understand all that stuff, I'm not bought it. Anyway, we called the company, they said, this stuff will work. And so he got on Greg's, he said, let me get on, he called Greg, Greg was talking to him, Greg said, get in your vehicle, let me check stuff. He got in there, he said, this stuff's not all hooked up. So the gentleman has been back today, we got the cables in, all this stuff will work when it gets hooked up right. It's not been hooked up right. But it's something new, we just got installed anyway, and we got some people in town upset when they saw we bought the equipment and didn't know it wasn't all working. It wasn't all finished being hooked up. It's still, I think Greg said he likes 2 cars having it all working. He got 3 of them working today, and he's getting it all hooked up. There's nothing wrong with the equipment, both good equipment. The body cams and the car, video comes on when the lights come on are at a certain speed limit. I think he's got it set 75 miles an hour. Whether you got, if you're chasing somebody, you don't have the lights on, you start driving 75 miles an hour, you fix to record it whether you want to or not, it's coming on. That's, now if the council wants that speed limit set different, you can, that is a settable thing that is set at 75 miles an hour right now. I mean, if he's in pursuit of somebody at 20 miles an hour, you're gonna pull him over, he flips the lights on, starts recording. That's all, the body cam and the camera in the car are automatic when you get it all working. So we're not there yet with it, but we're very close to being there with it. Okay? Hopefully that will get some of the problems that we had last month solved. And I didn't know that it wasn't all hooked up correctly. And evidently the guy that was installing it, that's installed a bunch of this stuff, didn't know he didn't have it hooked up correctly either.
This guy's gonna kinda go through and show him how to make sure everything works.
Well, you got DJs working with the company you bought the equipment from and this other guys. And they got, it's my understanding, they got 3 vehicles all working properly today. And you like 2 more, so, all right. Brenda, we don't need to do anything on this, millage consumption and certification form, or do we have to approve it?
You have to approve this one.
Okay, the form, and y'all don't have a copy of that? Or did she give, okay. Y'all do have it. I need y'all to approve that, that's what your money's coming in for.
And because it does, it's why we're doing the resolutions.
Do what
Yeah,
now?
this is what we read the resolutions for.
That's what, you already approved the resolutions, now you gotta approve the form.
I will make that motion.
I'll second.
Millage, consumption, and certification.
Yes, yes.
Roll call.
Al,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Johnny.
Yes.
We gotta get y'all two to sign in one council member.
We both signed that one, so just somebody.
Yeah, we can join, whatever you got.
Where they got signed?
It just says, make sure.
Make 2 of you, just go ahead and let 2 of you sign that, cause there's spot for 2 of you. Okay,
Jason has to sign.
Yeah.
It says city recorder, treasurer, mayor, and one council.
okay,
So that he has to sign.
yeah. Motion industry invoices. Where's the other
You
one?
need this one signed too?
There's 2 of them that need to be signed, I need a copy of mine and a copy of his. There should be 2 of them passed around to his. The bearings at the sewer plant on the racetrack, I didn't realize were so expensive. 3 bearings are about $11,000. I got 3 bids, $10,903, $11,332.30, and there's a 3rd one in here.
Dodge.
$3,045 a bearing times 2 and $3,800 plus the freight. This 3rd company goes the freight, so that makes them higher than what, the one in Willow Rock Motion is. So order of motion, could have had a paddle wheel down, we got, one of those $2,000 bearings is already installed. But y'all needs a $10,000 expenditure total. So would y'all approve? This invoice is actually broke down, Brenda, did it 3 times, instead of the 10,000 what they quoted, he broke it down to 3 times, but the total amount's gonna be $10,903.93.
Billy, is this not the one, basically, where you called us, told us,
I did.
approved it, and then now we're formalizing it, right?
Yes.
I make that motion.
I don't, hold on, one second. Did we order an extra to have on hand?
You're putting the one bearing, the $2,900 bearing, you ordered 2 of, you got 1 out, it's on, and you got one spare of each. We didn't have any spares. They've used them up to
So
six.
this is what's there?
You will have one of each spare. We
Okay.
got, we had to have one, we didn't have a spare, so that
Yes.
was down, that rotor was down, had to order one. And we've got the bearings we got a spare bearing for each side.
I'll second that motion.
Alan,
Yes,
Chris,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Johnny.
Did that get everything we need to do in Montgomery County?
looks like.
All right. And the John Bozeman thing was we couldn't get a $77,000, and I didn't vote on that. The money as of today, when Bozeman got involved, the $71,860.96 is now in our account. So that will help us a bunch on getting back in balance on our budget.
What's the quote? What's the invoice? You showed the vote, wrote a vote on the, click on the agenda.
She's breaking it down. The
Okay.
total amount's gonna be, there's gonna
Okay.
be 3 invoices. The quote was for all 3,
Okay.
that was the 10,000. And you broke it, but
Okay.
they ended up billing you 3 different invoices, but it's gonna total the $10,000.
Good.
Oh, that's all I have.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Johnny. Yes. Chris.
Yes.
Alan.
Yes. Looking like it's gonna be here at 1 o'clock in the morning.
What's that?
Are you?
And you got the check.
How are you doing, ladies?
So in the morning, I got a copy of that. And the check and everything.
You should have the resolution.
Next.
Minutes.
Tuesday, 12/6/30. We're doing all our awards and things.
Goes with the order.
We're going to be there.
I'll make a copy.